Hi guys, and in this video, I'm going to be reading scary stories about haunted houses. So I guess these are true, I don't know. My family traveled to the south of France to stay in a cottage owned by someone my dad worked with. The owners visited occasionally, but that summer it was free and we had 10 days booked in there. After a long 2 days on the road, we drove down a steep driveway towards a secluded mill cottage. With the water well started alongside the stone house, there was a deep cellar with stone stairs down under the well next to the house, and a small river circled the place. We went into the house and chose rooms, but being set down in a small cop what coats. The house was drafty and cold from licking like a fuse. We settled in and turned all of the heating on, yet the house remained cold and felt damp. The first night we had set a fire in the living room and listened to a couple of audiobooks before my sister and I went to sleep. My parents stayed up a little longer than went to bed. Around midnight, they both woke up at exactly the same time and the door to their bedroom was opening slowly. At first, they thought it was my sister until they saw a large, dark silhouette of a man framed in the doorway, standing stock still, just looking in their direction as if appraising them. After a short period, the shape turned and started to move as if satisfied and disappointed. They looked at each other but didn't speak, and both went back to sleep. The next morning, the house felt warm and dry, and sunlight was back through the windows as if something had lifted and accepted them. They spoke the next day and both agreed that they thought they were that although they were both skeptics, it could not have been anything other than something supernatural in that doorway, deciding their worth. So that was a scary story. So now I'm going to be reading House for Sale, Currently Occupied. When I was a kid, we lived in a haunted house. Strange things started happen all the time. For example, my dad and I were alone in the kitchen one day making a snack. We put a plate on the kitchen counter and walked away to the fridge. We got what we wanted out of the fridge, turned around to look to the counter, and the plate flew off the kitchen counter and broke on the floor. My dad tried to calm me down by saying the plate must have blown off the counter. But let's face it, the plate wasn't nowhere near the edge of the counter, and there was no windows or doors open. No one else was at home. Plate flew off the counter. I also woke up to an old lady standing by my bed on bed. Oh gosh. I also woke up to an old lady standing by. Ooh, this is real bad. Ooh. I also woke up to an old lady standing by my bed on more than one occasion. I told myself I was dreaming. This part might be dark, but here's the rest of the story. Years later, I looked up the address and found that the old couple lived there for many years right before I moved in. Apparently, the house was broken into and the old woman was murdered. The old man sold the house and moved. We were the first occupants since the incident. We only lived there for about a year. My parents swear we moved so quickly because we got a better deal on another house nearby. But we knew it was because of the old woman was haunted, because the old house is haunting. And the priest they brought in to bless the house told them we should move. No joke. Okay. So the rest of those stories are kinda look dumb, so I'm not gonna read those. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy this random video I decided to do. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and goodbye.